Chapter 13 ruined my life. No sugarcoating. It wrecked my finances, my credit, my confidence, and my lifestyle. But here's the part I didn't see at first. That ruin was the reset I needed. It forced me to change, to face my bad habits and start building a future I could actually sustain. If you're here, you might feel like it's ruining yours too. And I get it, because when I filed Chapter 13, I thought I was finally going to get my life back. No more phone calls, no more drowning in debt, no more living check to check just to hand it all over to creditors. But what I didn't realize at the time is Chapter 13 is not a magic pill. It didn't fix everything overnight. If anything, over time it made my life feel even tighter. But here's the twist. That was exactly what I needed. When I first filed, I could finally breathe. The phone stopped ringing, my paycheck didn't disappear the second it hit my bank account. For a while, I even felt kind of normal again. I hit the drive-through, do a little shopping, catch my breath. I thought, okay, it's back on track. But slowly I started finding myself falling behind again. Then I lost my job. My rent went up by $100 a month. And because there was so many people in my household, especially in the wintertime, the utilities went through the roof. $400 and $500 gas bills some months. I was working day and night just to keep my head above water enough to gasp for air. Then came the injury. I hurt myself and I couldn't work. And that was my breaking point. I looked at the numbers and I knew something had to change. I sat the family down and I said, we can't do this anymore. We came to the conclusion I was going to have to let the house go. That house wasn't just a roof. It was where my family gathered, where I thought we were safe. Letting it go felt like failure, but at the time it was straight survival mode. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. And for a moment, I thought it would help me fix everything. I didn't have rent and utilities for a while because I was paying a friend to couch surf while I got my feet under me. So surely I could catch up now. But by that point, my income had been cut in half, and I still found myself struggling. And that's when it hit me. Chapter 13 wasn't the problem. My lifestyle was. 3 years into Chapter 13, I'm finally starting to understand. Now, this is actually the spot where most people quit, around the 3-year mark. The plan get too hard, too long, and too discouraging. But instead of quitting, I started looking for every way possible to cut costs. I finally sat down and started budgeting every dollar instead of just hoping there'd be money left at the end of the week. And I'm going to be honest, this has been the most humbling and eye-opening experience I've ever been through. Not only was I spending too much money on my wants, I wasn't even making enough to cover my needs. That reality hit me harder than a ton of bricks. It didn't happen overnight, but I stopped splurging on shoes and clothes. I haven't taken any trips. Eating out is a rare treat. And I find myself asking myself about everything I buy. What does this really cost me? And I don't just mean the dollar amount. I mean the cost to my sense of well-being, my stress levels, and my future freedom. Example, my daughter just started college and she needed a mini fridge. I'm standing in the aisle and I see one with a box that's all banged up, corners all crushed in, ripped in places. Before, I would have deliberately avoided that box. But now, I grabbed it, rolled it up to customer service, and asked the guy behind the counter, how much will you pay me to take this off of your hands? They knocked $40 off. And when we opened it up in the door, not a scratch on it. The fridge works great. I went back the next day and found her a microwave. They knocked $20 off of that. That one decision saved me $60. But the real win was I got creative in the moment and found a way to pay less for something I had already planned to spend on. I finally stopped caring about appearances, having the shiniest and newest, and started caring about results. How much can I keep in my account? That's the kind of mindset shift Chapter 13 forced on me. And honestly, I'm glad it did. Chapter 13 forced me to examine my lifestyle and realize it wasn't sustainable. For those considering Chapter 13, now the process itself has been painful to say the least, just speaking for myself. And I'm just really starting to get a handle on it 3 years in. It gets incredibly hard to watch what seems like everybody around you living their best life while I'm just trying not to drown. If you're thinking about filing Chapter 13 and your income is stable and you're willing to face the stuff that got you here, it can be a good decision. But please understand, Chapter 13 is not a magic pill. It will not solve everything overnight. It will push you to make lifestyle changes. And if you fight that process, you might not make it through it. But if you lean into it, it can set you up for a more sustainable and financially rewarding future. If you're struggling and you're ready to get serious about your money, the first step is seeing exactly where it's going. I built a simple budget tracker to help me get that clear picture, and I'm giving away free to early supporters of this channel for a limited time. The link is in the description. It's an easy way to find the holes in your budget and start taking back control. If you're in Chapter 13 right now, or even just thinking about it, drop your story in the comments. And know this, you're not alone. I'm documenting this journey all the way through my discharge, and I'm sharing the tools and the mindset shifts that are helping me get through it. Subscribe if you want to see not just how I survived this, but how I rebuild during the process, because the story isn't over. It's just getting started. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you in the next one.